If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sori says, $125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. $125 gets you there. You do that 3 times and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at vinsori@gmail.com and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in a Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft. Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed. A child shall lead them.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener.
All right. So we have Savatage. The next song, Somewhere in Time, is up next. And we already read the commentary.
Somewhere in Time by the band Sabotage. I do know I have that one. Ha! It's right there!
Yay!
Okay, now, is that the last song?
No. We got track 16 is Believe.
Okay.
And then he's got the last song of the stream.
Gotcha. Okay, so this is the second and last song.
From the album, yeah.
So after all these one night stands, you've ended up with heart in hand. Child alone, on your own, retreating. Regretful for the things you're not, and all the dreams you haven't got. Without a home, a heart of stone lies bleeding. And for all the roads you followed, and for all you did not find, and for all the things you had to leave behind. I am the way, I am the light, I am the dark inside the night. I hear your hopes, I feel your dreams, and in the dark I hear your screams. Don't turn away, just take my hand, and when you make your final stand, I'll be right there, never leave.
Oh, babe, you're playing Believe.
Rock song!
Yeah, that didn't make any sense. I was trying to...
What is going on here?
Yeah.
What's the name of the song again?
So the name of the song is Somewhere in Time.
Somewhere in Time.
Yeah.
That was right above Believe. That's why I did it.
Yeah.
Okay! Erase that from your memory! You know, like in the Paramation
Forgotten.
shows, somebody would say something and...
Yeah.
Strike that from the jury!
Yeah.
That was all a simulation. We wanted to see if you guys
imagined
are
it.
paying attention. There's always got to be some screw up. As soon as Sarkaz showed up, we've never had a scoop like that before.
I know. And now you'll never let us live it down.
Terrible drummer.
So what can I tell you? Life's the length of this play. Perhaps God gave the answers to those with nothing to say. But the years are forgiven. God's forgiven and can. Perhaps we'll all find the answers somewhere in time. Somewhere in time. I've been changing, redefining all the things I thought I knew so long ago. I was flying through the years, it seems so far away. In the back of a reason, in the back of my mind, it's where I piled up the seasons that I traded for time. I've been grasping at rainbows, hanging on till the end. But the rain is so real, Lord, and the rainbows pretend. The rainbows pretend. I've been changing, redefining all the things I thought I knew so long ago. I was flying through the years, it seems so far away.
Spooky in the house.
Wow. Are you sure they were in their 20s?
I think they were in their
Just
20s in
seems
this. Mojo, were they in their
Too
20s?
mature for 20-year-olds.
What do you mean? I can
Um,
see Dorian writing a song like this in his 20s.
Yeah, but that's Dorian.
Yeah, and
They got a group of, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Like, that's not regular for late 20s. That's still their 20s.
yeah, 27.
Yeah.
What can I tell you? If life's the length of this play, perhaps God gave the answers to those with nothing to say. That's a brilliant line.
Yeah.
Think about it. So it's like, we don't have the answer. And then it's like, well, no, God could have gave the answer, but if the person has nothing to say, you're not going to experience it as anything other than a non-answer. See what I'm saying? So perhaps
I think so, yeah.
God gave the answers to those with nothing to say. It's a good way of saying there are no answers. But then I always think, like, what does an answer mean? Because I'm not sure that everybody means the same thing when they're talking about answers.
I just assumed it was what comes next because that's what we talked about in the song before, and it was still unanswered.
What do you mean?
Life after death, and what is it, and what does this all mean, and how does your past connect with your, not just this life future, but like your future beyond this life? Like, some things, they seem so meaningless, and then are they going to tie
question.
in?
I think when people are talking about answers, I think what they're talking about is what is the meaning behind certain things. So, for example, if I were to give the laziest, most stripped down explanation for something, there's an answer for everything. Why did 9/11 happen? Because God willed it. Okay, that's an answer. Mm-hmm. But would that be acceptable to people as an answer? Of course not. Because then they would ask the next question. Well, why did he will
do
it?
that? Yeah.
Because it brings me glory. Okay. Well, that's going to generate another question.
A bunch of questions.
Right? So, which if you keep asking the questions over and over again, you're going to get ultimately to the main question, which is, what is the purpose of life? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, because really, anytime we're asking that question, that's ultimately the question we're asking: what is the purpose of life? Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter what your major existential question is. You're never going to just ask one existential question. So whatever question that gets answered, you're going to ask another one, and eventually it's going to lead you to, why am I here in the first place? Mm-hmm. And if you can answer that question, then all other things like 9/11 and other things that happen become explicatory. Mm-hmm. So, like that right there is it's a challenge that everybody has to deal with, but that's a real thing. But my thing is, I find it very hard to believe in a random, purposeless universe that we would be looking for purpose and meaning.
Yeah.
If randomness and purposelessness is king of existence, of ultimate reality, then why are we obsessed with having purpose and meaning? And why doesn't any of the other animals seem to have that problem? Mm-hmm. And again, there are aspects to that go against the goals of our evolutionary processes. Mm-hmm. You know, people do all types of crazy things like climb mountains and die at the peak of these mountains because they're trying to add meaning and purpose to life. It's been a common mental malady, I've now come to believe, among men, that going to war as a proving ground and things of that nature is, which vastly limits your ability to reproduce and procreate if you're blown to smithereens. So we have all of these tendencies as human beings that militate against survival and reproduction, which is the name of the game. And so now, here you go. You're looking for the answers to why you're here, because I believe all of us know instinctively we're not just animals. That's what I believe. I think the more and more, especially when I listen to metal music, I'm sorry, nobody believes that. You know what I'm saying? You're not listening to that solo and going, oh my God, and having this like moment, because, and again, when people say, oh no, that synapse is firing in the brain, no. That does not explain the qualia. It does not explain experience. Okay? So there's no explanation for that currently. So I'm not saying that means that you should abandon. I'm just saying that means you should be open to other things. I've been changing and redefining all the things I thought I knew. That's kind of what I'm going through right now.
Yep.
And I'm so excited about it. Mm-hmm. I'm so excited about the things that I've been learning scientifically as well as psychologically with Jung and the things I've learned from you. Like, I love living in a world right now where everything is up for grabs. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And like, now I'm like, no, justify all these basic presuppositions, all these things that we think are axiomatic, that are just obvious, we think are obviously true. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like we said, it's like color is a hallucination. You believe that you're stationary, you're moving. You believe that the sun moves up and down, it doesn't. You believe it looks like the earth is flat. It's not. Mm-hmm. Like, so then it's like, well, what other things am I looking at? Have I thought about the entire time that may not be true? I just listened to a guy with 2 PhDs say that the moon isn't there if we're not looking at it, and he's dead ass serious. Like, that is so fascinating to me. But what I've noticed with religious people is that most of the time when they go through something like this, you know, I'm redefining all the things I thought they knew, they abandon their faith.
Yes. Yeah.
And you know, a lot of Christians, when they comment on it, they warn people against deeper exploration of their faith, their ideas and science and things outside of the rubric of Christianity, because you're going to end up like so-and-so and whatever. Mm-hmm. And like, I'm so confused by that kind of,
fear.
Yeah, because I haven't felt as close to God in a long, long time looking at this stuff.
Yeah, I think that because of the way that your mind works in like patterns and stuff, that when somebody throws out a theory, you're automatically looking to see like, oh, is this true? And you're using the scriptures to base that off, like as basically like a baseline for it. And I don't think that a lot of people have sort of like a rigid understanding of what the Bible has to say. And so when you're only used to thinking of it in one like type of box, it's very difficult to see it outside of that box. But I think that your mind just like automatically translates that stuff to say, hey, this could be what that verse is talking about. I never considered that before. But I don't think everybody's mind does that. So when they hear these ideas, they actually sound like they're completely contrary to what we've been learning in the Bible, and then it scares them, because if it sounds like it perhaps is true, then that might mean that everything that I've ever believed in is false. And some people, don't want to think of a world where,
but for me, like,
for you're seeing all these different things. It's exciting. It's eye-opening. It's door-opening.
I just say, if I have an interpretation of the Bible that contradicts actual reality, then either my perception is wrong or that interpretation is wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yes, but you don't feel like you're going to be stuck in some dark hole that you can't figure your way out of.
If I had the wrong interpretation for something?
Yeah, and that you can't figure out what the right one is, and then you're kind of lost in it. Like, a lot of people, they're not like, I mean, you're somebody that teaches. You're not somebody that only learns from being taught. Like, there are some people that really, they're just not a teacher, and it's hard for them to, they learn from. So it's just difficult, and I think it's scary for people in that situation. And but I can understand how somebody like you, like, the way that you're gifted, like, you're a problem solver to get out of any sort of mental box that you're in. So whatever you figure out, it doesn't matter. Like, nothing's going to shake your world. You're going to figure it out. Where not everybody has that level of confidence in their own selves to be able to.
Well, I'm not aware of confidence in myself to look at those things.
But you don't know what it is to fear that.
Fear what?
Because you automatically, it's like if somebody's blind and they might be afraid that they're going to get stuck somewhere because they can't see their way out of where they are. Well, you have eyes, so you're not going to be afraid if you go into a building, you're not going to be able to find your way out. But somebody who can't see.
You know what it is, honestly? I've had such personal and real moments with Jesus that any reality or any idea that would say that he's not real is just nonsense to me. So I'm not even afraid of that. It would be like if somebody were to say, like, technically, philosophically, I would have to justify your existence mentally. But I don't need to. Like, I've experienced you. So, like, I don't need all these theories and whatever to justify that you're around. And if somebody came up with a theory that said, Sori is really not there, which I don't believe that your physical presentation is here, but you, the essence of who you are, is here, whatever here is, right? So it's kind of like that. It's like, I'm so sure, I'm more sure of him than I am of you right now, especially now, scientifically speaking. I'm way more sure of him than you right now. So it's like I said, if I saw, like, it'd be like,
yeah, I can see that. That
looking
makes sense.
at advanced trigonometry or advanced whatever, the math that physicists have to master in order to do the basics of their job. Like, you're never going to find an equation that says 2 + 2 isn't 4. And that's kind of how I look at it. Like, at the fundamental level, like, Jesus is at the fundamental reality.
Yeah.
So anything that I really find out about reality is not gonna, I'm not afraid of that. So I hear what you're saying, but that's really what it is. It's just been my experience.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's just I've experienced being around them. And so it's like, so I'm not afraid of, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not afraid of some new discovery. People are like, oh, what if the aliens show up? Like, I hope they show up. Like, for real. Like, that would, like, get rid of a lot of boredom for me. You know what I'm saying? The other people are like, well, it has theological implications. Like, sure it does, but I don't care what it is. I mean, Jesus still going to be at the center at the end of the day, so I don't care. But, yeah, that's, that whole thing about changing and redefining things is so fast. Since I've run into this channel, there have been so many things that I have now redefined and I've been reoriented and looking at it. And it's incredible. It's an incredible experience. But I also see that a lot of people, it's a traumatic experience for lots of people. Happy birthday to you, Perkinos.
Happy birthday.
We got all the real OGs in the house today. We got Sarcast, we got Perk, we got Kai. Yeah. Really interesting. Like I said, the band is deep as hell. I feel bad, like, with the religious stuff, but there's nothing I can do about it, dear listener. It's all in the song.
This part I thought had a sort of, like, sadness to it also, when he says, I've been grasping at rainbows, hanging on till the end, but the rain is so real, Lord, and the rainbows pretend. Like, obviously, in this context, I think we're talking about the promises rainbows being hope, blah blah blah, and like there's just a lot of rain.
And there's the whole thing about the what's at the end of the rainbow too, right? Like the
pot of gold.
The pot of gold, which is fictional. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a fictional thing, but yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna give this one 9.8.
It's a 9.4 for me. It's a 9.4 for me. Only a couple songs remain, dear listener. Only a couple songs remain. The universe is a program running on a code, and so we are sitting here, an expression of this code, asking, but what is the truth, not being able to ever see the code, only the pixels it produces? Isn't there a quote or something saying something to the extent of everyone who could talk about this faith doesn't know real faith or something? There probably is, but not in my religion. Maybe a Gnostic would say that. I don't know, Perkinos. Check it out. Okay, guys, we got more coming for you very soon. Vid out.
Sorry out.
Boom.